This audiobook holds the sacred secret that your voice, the words you speak within the sanctuary of your own mind, commands the very forces of the universe. Listen closely, and you will awaken to a truth that has been quietly shaping your life from the shadows. The way you speak to yourself is the way the universe speaks back to you. Introduction: the voice that shapes worlds. Every inner word, every silent phrase, every whispered thought is not lost in the ether. It is a command, a decree, a vibration that the universe hears and obeys without hesitation. Speak to yourself in despair, and the universe echoes that despair back to you. Speak to yourself in power, in certainty, in love, and the universe rearranges itself to reflect that strength. You are not simply speaking to yourself, you are speaking to life itself. What if I told you that you could change everything, your health, your wealth, your relationships, your destiny, by changing the way you speak within? What if I told you that the universe is not waiting for you to work harder, to strive more, but to speak differently, to yourself? You hold the key. It is not outside you. It has never been outside you. The key is the way you speak within the temple of your mind. This is the voice that moves mountains, the voice that bends reality to your will. In the quiet spaces of your mind, you are always speaking. You narrate your life, you judge yourself, you tell stories about who you are, about what is possible, about what is impossible. This inner conversation shapes the outer world. Your inner speech is the blueprint of your reality. The universe is not responding to what you wish for or what you hope for. It is responding to what you say to yourself when no one is listening. This is not about mere affirmations spoken half-heartedly. This is about embodying the language of creation, about learning to speak with such authority, such clarity, that the universe cannot help but obey. This audiobook is your invitation to remember the power of your voice, to speak to yourself in a way that commands the stars, that moves the tides, that aligns the infinite forces of life to your desires. In the chapters that follow, you will learn how to shape your inner dialogue, how to plant words that grow into realities, how to speak from the end, as though your desires are already fulfilled. And in doing so, to shape the universe itself. You will hear stories of those who have spoken their worlds into existence. You will engage in sacred practices to rewire the way you speak within, to align your words with the life you seek. This is not a book of idle philosophy. This is a manual for creation. This is the awakening of your voice, the voice that shapes worlds. And so I ask you now, are you ready to speak to yourself in a way that the universe cannot ignore? Are you ready to become the master of your inner speech, and in doing so, command the reality that reflects back to you? If so, let us begin. Chapter 1. The Power of Your Voice Within. There is a voice that echoes within the chambers of your mind, a voice so familiar that its presence often goes unnoticed. It is the voice that narrates your life, the voice that tells you who you are, what you are capable of, what is possible, and what is not. This voice speaks not only when you are aware, but whispers constantly beneath your conscious thoughts, shaping your emotions, your actions, and your reality itself. This voice is your inner speech, and it holds within it the power to either limit you or to set you free. It is the silent architect of your life's design, the unseen author scripting the story of your existence. You might believe that the circumstances of your life have been written by chance, by the world outside you, by the people you meet, or the opportunities you are given. But the true author of your story has always been this voice within. It is the way you speak to yourself that shapes the world you walk through. The universe does not respond to the words you say aloud to others. It responds to the words you whisper within yourself when no one else can hear. Your inner dialogue is the command center of creation. It is the channel through which you speak directly to life, and life responds faithfully without judgment. Consider this. When you face a challenge, what is the first thing your inner voice says? Does it rise with words of power? I can handle this. I am strong. I am capable. Or does it collapse into defeat? This is too much. I always fail. Nothing ever works for me. These words, these silent declarations are not just private thoughts. They are instructions. They are the blueprints handed to the universe, and the universe, like a faithful servant, begins to arrange the circumstances of your life according to those instructions. If your inner voice repeats that you are unlucky, the universe echoes that back. If your inner voice says that abundance flows to you with ease, the universe echoes that too. The voice within is the signal the universe listens to, the vibration it follows. You may perform rituals, affirmations, or even take massive action in the world, but if your inner voice contradicts those efforts, the universe obeys the voice, not the effort. The power of your inner speech is absolute. Let me share with you the story of Elena, a woman who longed for success but found herself continually hitting walls. She worked tirelessly, networked, took the courses, did all the outer work, but the results were always just out of reach. One evening, in a quiet moment of reflection, she began to listen, not to the noise of the world, but to the whisper within. She heard herself say, "I'm not good enough for this. Success is for others, not for me." These words, though never spoken aloud, had been the silent refrain of her life. And the universe, ever responsive, had mirrored them back in every missed opportunity, every closed door. When Elena recognized this pattern, she began a new practice. She didn't just work on her outer actions, she began to speak differently within. Every morning she spoke to herself as the woman she desired to be. I am capable. I am worthy of success. Opportunities flow to me. These words were not magic spells. They were commands, vibrations sent out into the universe. And as she held this new dialogue steady, as she repeated it, lived it, felt it, her outer world began to shift. The doors opened. The opportunities flowed, not because the universe changed, but because her voice within changed, and the universe, as always, responded. You see, you are the oracle of your own life. Your voice speaks prophecies that your world fulfills. Every word you say to yourself is a seed planted in the soil of the universe. And whether that seed grows into thorns or into flowers depends on the nature of your inner speech. Words of fear, of doubt, of limitation grow into struggle. Words of faith, of love, of possibility grow into abundance. But this is not about speaking empty words. The power of your inner voice lies not just in the words themselves, but in the belief and feeling that accompany them. When you speak to yourself, feel the truth of the words. Do not simply say, "I am abundant." Feel the vibration of abundance as you speak it. Let the words resonate. Let them settle into your bones. The universe does not respond to hollow statements. It responds to the vibration, the energy behind the words. When you believe what you say, when you feel what you say, the universe listens. Let me share another story. This one of Malik, a young man burdened by the belief that love always eluded him. His inner voice whispered, "I am destined to be alone. I am not lovable." These words were the lens through which he viewed every relationship, every interaction, and the universe, responding faithfully, arranged his experiences to match those words. But when Malik learned to change his inner voice, when he began to speak love into himself, "I am worthy of love. I am loved. I am loved," the world around him began to soften. The walls he had unknowingly built began to fall. Love entered his life, not as an external reward, but as a reflection of the love he spoke within. And so now, I invite you to listen. Take a moment of stillness and hear the voice within. What words are you speaking to yourself? Are they words that empower, that uplift, that align with your desires? Or are they words that diminish, that limit, that contradict what you seek? Do not judge what you find, simply listen. Then, choose new words. Speak to yourself this way. Speak words that align with the life you desire. Speak words of power, of love, of abundance. Say them within. Say them often. Say them until they settle into your being, until they become the new song of your life. Remember, the universe listens to the voice within. Speak with love. Speak with faith. Speak with power, and the universe will obey. Chapter 2. Words as Seeds, Planting Your Reality. Every word you speak within the sacred ground of your mind is a seed. Every sentence, every phrase, every inner whisper falls into the soil of the universe, and there it begins to take root. These words, though unseen, do not vanish into nothingness. They settle into the fertile earth of creation, and whether you know it or not, they grow. Some grow into weeds that choke the life from your desires, while others bloom into the lush gardens of your dreams. The universe is the soil, but your words are the seeds, and it is you who decides what will grow. This is the law of life. What you plant, you will harvest. Yet most people scatter their words carelessly, speaking without awareness, unaware that each utterance is a seed cast into the field of their reality. They speak of lack. I can't afford this. Nothing ever works out for me. I'm always tired. And these words take root. They speak of fear. I'll never find love. I'm not good enough. I always fail. And these seeds grow strong, weaving themselves into the fabric of their experiences. They wonder why their lives are filled with weeds, with struggle, with hardship, but the answer lies in the seeds they have sown. The universe is faithful. It grows whatever you plant, without judgment, without hesitation. But what if you began to plant deliberately? What if you began to choose your words as carefully as a gardener chooses their seeds, knowing that every word would bear fruit? What if you spoke only those words that you wish to see reflected in your world? This is the art of conscious creation. This is the sacred practice of planting the seeds of your desires. Consider the story of Aya, a woman who once spoke without awareness, scattering words of fear and doubt throughout her days. Her life reflected this scattering. Relationships that withered, opportunities that slipped away, dreams that never sprouted. But one day, Aya learned the truth of her inner speech. She learned that her words were not empty sounds but seeds, shaping her reality. From that moment on, she chose her words with care. She began to speak of abundance, even when her pockets were empty. She spoke of love, even when loneliness echoed in her home. She spoke of strength, even when her body felt weak. And the universe, ever faithful, responded. Her life began to reflect the seed she planted. Love grew, abundance blossomed, strength took root. This is the power you hold. Your words are not mere sounds, they are creative forces. They carry within them the blueprint of the reality they will create. When you say, "I am abundant," you plant the seed of abundance. When you say, "I am loved," you plant the seed of love. These seeds may not sprout instantly. The garden of life grows in seasons, not seconds. But as you continue to plant, as you continue to speak words aligned with your desires, the garden must grow. But beware of planting mixed seeds. Many plant seeds of abundance in the morning. I am wealthy, I am prosperous. But by afternoon, they scatter seeds of lack. I can't afford that, money is tight. They plant seeds of love one day. I am worthy of love, and seeds of fear the next. I'm afraid to be alone. The universe, like the soil, does not discriminate. It grows whatever is planted. And when the seeds are mixed, the harvest is confused. You may see sprouts of abundance alongside the weeds of lack, flowers of love entangled with the thorns of fear. To create a harmonious garden, you must plant consistently. Speak words that align with your desires daily, deliberately, repeatedly. Let your inner speech be a steady stream of affirmation, a continuous planting of seeds that reflect the life you wish to live. When doubt arises, as it will, do not water it with your words. Instead, return to your chosen seeds. Speak them again. Nurture them with faith. Tend to them with patience. Let me share another story, the tale of Matteo, a craftsman who longed to build a great home, a sanctuary for his family. He gathered materials, laid the foundation, but each time the storms came, he abandoned his work, convinced that the house would never stand. His words echoed his doubt. "This will never last. I don't have what it takes." And so, the walls crumbled. The house remained unfinished. But when Matteo learned to speak differently, when he began to say, "I am capable, this home will stand strong," he found the strength to continue. His words became the foundation, his belief, the walls, his patience, the roof, and the home, once only a dream, became real. You too are building a home, a life that reflects your desires, your dreams, your truth. Your words are the bricks, the mortar, the beams. They shape the structure of your reality. Speak words that build, not words that destroy. Speak as the architect of your life, knowing that every word adds to the design. So now, I invite you into a sacred practice of planting. Each morning, as the day begins, take a moment of stillness. Close your eyes. Speak aloud 5 statements that reflect the life you wish to create. Speak them with conviction, as though the seeds were already sprouting beneath the soil of your life. Feel the truth of your words. I am abundant. I am loved. I am healthy. I am free. I am aligned with the flow of the universe. Let these words be the seeds you plant. And when the day grows long, when doubt creeps in, return to your garden, speak again, plant again. Tend the soil with love, with patience, with faith. Know that the harvest will come. The universe is faithful. It grows whatever you plant. Remember this: your words are seeds. Plant them with care, nurture them with love, and the garden of your life will bloom. Chapter 3. Breaking the cycle of negative self-talk. There is a silent enemy that often walks with you, not in the outer world, but within the chambers of your own mind. It is the voice that whispers of your limits, the voice that repeats stories of failure, rejection, and lack. This voice is not your enemy by nature, but it has become so through repetition. It is the voice of negative self-talk, the unexamined dialogue that weaves itself into the fabric of your thoughts and shapes the landscape of your reality. And until this cycle is broken, until this voice is met with love, understanding, and deliberate change, it will continue to plant seeds that bear bitter fruit. Negative self-talk is not something you were born with. It was learned, gathered like stones along the path of life. From parents who feared too much, from teachers who doubted your worth, from experiences that wounded your spirit. Over time, these voices became your own, the echo of the world around you, repeating inside. You learn to tell yourself things that are not true. I'm not good enough. I always mess up. Nothing ever works out for me. And these words, though silent, have power. They are the seeds that grow into thorns. They are the commands the universe obeys, reflecting back to you circumstances that match their vibration. But understand this: you can break this cycle. You can reclaim your inner voice. You can uproot these old patterns and plant new seeds. The voice within you is not fixed. It can be reshaped. It can be rewritten. The stories you tell yourself can be transformed. You are not at the mercy of this dialogue. You are the author of it. Consider the story of Samuel, a man who carried the heavy burden of failure. Every mistake, every setback became a line in the story he told himself. I am a failure. This became the refrain of his days, the lens through which he viewed every opportunity, every relationship, every dream, and the universe, as always, responded. Opportunities slipped away, relationships faltered, dreams remained distant, all echoing the inner voice he held. But one day, Samuel paused long enough to hear his own words. He realized that the greatest barrier in his life was not the world outside, but the voice within. And so, he began the sacred work of breaking the cycle. At first, it felt foreign to speak differently. The old voice rose strong. You can't, you're not enough. But Samuel, with courage, spoke back. He chose new words. I am capable. I am learning. I am growing. These words were not yet familiar, but he repeated them again and again until they began to take root. The old voice weakened, the new voice grew stronger. And as his inner dialogue shifted, so too did his world. Opportunities stayed, relationships deepened, dreams began to manifest. Samuel broke the cycle and in doing so, reclaimed his power. You too can break this cycle, but it begins with awareness. The first step is to listen. Begin to notice the words you speak to yourself, the silent phrases that echo in your mind throughout the day. Do not judge them. Do not resist them. Simply listen. Notice the patterns. When something goes wrong, what do you say to yourself? When you look in the mirror, what do you hear? When you face a challenge, what voice rises? Awareness is the light that reveals the shadows. When you bring your inner dialogue into the light of consciousness, you begin to reclaim it. You begin to see that the voice of negative self-talk is not your truth. It is a habit, a pattern, a story you have carried, but it is not who you are. And with this awareness, you gain the power to rewrite the script. Let me offer you another parable, the story of a woman named Lila who tended a garden filled with weeds. She did not know how they came to be. They had grown slowly, over time, creeping into the soil, wrapping around the roots of the flowers she longed to grow. Every day, she walked her garden, lamenting the weeds, speaking of their presence. These weeds ruin everything. My garden is a mess. But the weeds listened. They heard her words and grew stronger. One day, Lila chose a new approach. She began to pull the weeds, not with anger, but with care. And as she pulled, she spoke to the soil. You are fertile. You are ready for new growth. She planted new seeds, tended them with love, spoke words of encouragement to her garden, and slowly, the weeds gave way. The flowers grew. The garden flourished. Not because the weeds were fought, but because the soil was nurtured with new words. Your mind is this garden. The negative self-talk are the weeds that have grown through neglect, through old wounds. You cannot silence them by force, but you can pull them with care, with awareness. And you can plant new seeds. So now, I invite you into a sacred practice to break the cycle. Each time you notice a negative thought, a voice of self-criticism, pause, acknowledge it, do not fight it. Simply say, I hear you, but I choose another voice. Then, speak a new phrase. If the voice says, I'm not good enough, speak back, I am more than enough. If it says, I always fail, respond, I am learning and growing. Speak these new words aloud if you can, or silently within, but speak them. Plant these new seeds. And be patient. The old voice may rise again. The weeds may return, but each time you choose new words, you weaken the old cycle. Each time you speak love, you strengthen the new growth. Over time, the negative self-talk fades. The new voice rises strong. The garden of your mind begins to flourish. Remember, you are the gardener of your inner world. The words you speak within shape the landscape of your life. Break the cycle. Speak love. Speak power. Speak truth. And the universe will echo it back to you, faithfully, beautifully. Chapter 4. The Sacred Practice of Speaking Life. There is a power that moves through all of creation, a force that shapes the mountains, stirs the oceans, and brings the dawn to the darkest night. This power does not reside outside of you. It flows through you, moves with your breath, rides upon your words. And when you speak life, you align yourself with this creative force. To speak life is to breathe vitality into your dreams, to plant seeds of hope, to awaken the sleeping giants within your soul. It is the sacred act of calling forth beauty, abundance, love, and healing through the words you choose to speak, not only to others, but, most importantly, to yourself. Speaking life is not merely about saying positive things. It is a conscious practice, a daily ritual that recognizes the creative power of your words. It is the deliberate choice to speak in a way that builds, uplifts, and nourishes, even when the outer circumstances seem barren. To speak life is to speak as though the universe is always listening, ready to mirror back what you declare. And it is. For the universe hears not just the words you say aloud, but the whispers within your mind, the silent affirmations or condemnations you offer yourself each day. Consider the parable of a village where a great drought had taken hold. The people, desperate and weary, gathered each day in the square, lamenting their fate, speaking only of the dust, the dying crops, the lost hope. But among them was a young girl named Arya, who each morning walked to the fields and spoke words of life over the barren soil. You are fertile. You will bloom again, rain will come, and you will flourish. Her words seemed foolish to those around her, but she spoke them with conviction, with faith. And as days turned to weeks, clouds gathered, rain fell, and the fields revived. The others asked her, "How did you know?" And she replied, "Because I spoke life, even when life was not yet visible." Her words aligned with the hidden rhythms of nature, awakening what lay dormant. This is the sacred practice of speaking life. It is the choice to speak in alignment with your desires, even when the evidence has not yet appeared. It is to speak of health while the body still aches, to speak of abundance while the pockets remain empty, to speak of love even when loneliness lingers. You are not lying to yourself. You are aligning yourself with the deeper truth, the truth that your words shape your reality, that the seeds you plant will grow. But to make this a practice, to make it sacred, you must engage with it daily. The mind, left unattended, reverts to old patterns. It listens to the world's noise, the doubt, the fear, the limitation. But when you make the conscious choice to speak life, you become the guardian of your mind, the curator of your inner landscape. You become the artist who paints with words, shaping your world with each brushstroke. Let me share the story of Matteo, a man who struggled with illness for many years. His body felt weak, his spirit worn thin. His inner voice echoed the diagnosis, the prognosis, the limitations spoken over him. "I am sick. I am broken." These words became his prison. But one day, Matteo heard the whisper of a deeper truth, that he could speak life into his body, that his words could become medicine. He began, hesitantly at first, to speak differently. "I am healing. My body is strong. My cells are vibrant with life." These words felt foreign at first, like seeds planted in frozen ground. But he returned to them daily, speaking them with more conviction, more belief, and slowly, his body responded, his strength returned, his spirit revived. The words were not magic, they were alignment. They were the bridge between what was and what could be. You too can speak life into every area of your existence, but it requires presence. It requires commitment. It requires you to catch yourself when the old words rise, the words of defeat, of fear, of doubt, and to replace them with words that breathe life, not just once, but as a daily practice. So now, I invite you into this sacred practice. Each morning, before the noise of the world fills your mind, find a quiet space. Close your eyes. Place your hand on your heart. Speak life into yourself. Say aloud, I am alive with purpose. I am worthy of love. I am abundant. I am strong. I am aligned with the flow of the universe. Speak these words not as hollow phrases, but as living truths. Feel them vibrate in your chest. Feel their resonance move through you. Then, as you move through your day, become aware of the words you speak to yourself. When challenges arise, speak life into them. When doubt whispers, answer it with words of faith. When fear rises, meet it with words of courage. Let every word you speak within be a seed of life, a declaration of the reality you are creating. Remember, the universe listens to your words. It responds to the energy you send. When you speak life, you align with the creative power that moves through all things. You become a co-creator with the universe, shaping your world with every syllable. And know this, speaking life is not about ignoring reality. It is about shaping reality. It is about declaring what is becoming, not just what is. It is the act of creation, the sacred partnership between your voice and the universe. So, speak life, speak love, speak abundance, speak health, speak joy. Let your words be the seeds that grow into the life you desire. Chapter 5. Shaping Self, Concept through Inner Conversation. At the heart of all creation, at the center of every manifestation, there is one force that governs what you allow, what you experience, what you become, and that is your self-concept. The way you see yourself, the story you hold about who you are, is the silent architect of your reality. It defines the boundaries of what you believe is possible for you. And like the breath that moves unnoticed, your inner conversation is constantly shaping this self-concept, carving the grooves of your identity, telling the universe, this is who I am. This is what I deserve. This is what I expect. But most people live unaware of this silent shaping. They allow the world, their past, the opinions of others, to write the script of who they are. They carry labels given to them by parents, teachers, society. Unworthy, not enough, too much, too little. These labels become the silent voice within, the inner dialogue that repeats, again and again, until the story becomes solid, until the identity is fixed, until the life they live reflects only what they believe themselves to be. Yet here is the sacred truth. Self-concept is not set in stone. It is not a sentence passed down from the past. It is not a permanent fixture. It is malleable, fluid, ever-changing, shaped by the words you speak within. Your inner conversation is the sculptor's hand, molding the clay of your identity. And you hold the power to reshape it, to speak a new self into existence. Consider the story of Amani, a woman who had long believed herself to be invisible. Throughout her life, she felt unseen, unheard, passed over for opportunities, for love, for recognition. And when she listened to her inner voice, she heard the silent refrain, I am invisible. I am not important. I fade into the background. These words became the walls of her self-concept, shaping every experience, every relationship. The universe, ever faithful, mirrored back her belief. But one day, Amani caught the echo of her own words. She saw that the story of invisibility was not a truth, but a script she had learned to repeat. And in that moment, she chose to speak differently. She began to say, "I am seen, I am heard, I am valuable." These words, at first unfamiliar, slowly began to shape a new self-concept. The world around her responded. People noticed her. Opportunities found her. Love flowed into her life. Not because the world changed, but because she changed her inner conversation. Her self-concept expanded, and her reality expanded with it. You too can reshape your self-concept, but it begins with listening. Become aware of the story you tell yourself. When you face a challenge, what do you say? When you look at your dreams, what do you hear? Do you say, "I am capable," or do you whisper, "I always fail"? Do you say, "I am worthy of love," or do you murmur, "I will always be alone"? These words are not just thoughts. They are the boundaries of your identity. And until you change them, until you speak a new story, your reality will reflect the old one. Let me share the story of Elias, a man who longed to be financially free but carried a self-concept rooted in struggle. His inner voice repeated, "I am poor. Money is hard to come by. I am not good with finances." And so, despite his efforts, his life echoed these words. But Elias learned the sacred power of inner conversation. He began to speak differently. Each day, he affirmed, "I am abundant. Money flows to me with ease. I am wise with my finances." These words felt foreign at first, like trying to wear new clothes that didn't yet fit. But with repetition, the new conversation took root. His self-concept shifted, and so did his reality. Abundance flowed. Opportunities arose. The universe responded to the new identity he declared. Understand this. The universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are, and who you are is shaped by the words you speak within. If your self-concept says, "I am unworthy," the universe reflects that unworthiness back. If your self-concept says, "I am abundant," the universe reflects abundance. You are not a victim of your past, nor are you trapped by the opinions of others. You are the author of your self-concept, and every word you speak within is shaping that story. So now, I invite you into a sacred practice of reshaping your self-concept. Begin by writing down the current narrative you hold about yourself. Be honest. What do you say when you speak to yourself in the quiet moments? Write the words. See the story. Then, write a new one. Declare who you choose to be. Replace "I am not enough" with "I am more than enough." Replace "I always fail" with "I succeed with ease." Replace "I am invisible" with "I am seen and valued." Each day, read this new script aloud. Feel the words. Let them settle into your bones. Speak them in the morning, before the world speaks to you. Speak them at night, before sleep carries them into the depths of your subconscious. Speak them often. Speak them until they become your truth. Remember, self-concept is the foundation of your reality. Change the story, and you change the world you live in. Speak to yourself as the person you wish to become, and the universe will mirror that identity back to you. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not the labels given to you. You are who you declare yourself to be. Speak that truth, shape that self, and watch your reality transform. Chapter 6. The Mirror Effect. Your world echoes your words. The world you walk through each day, the people you meet, the circumstances you face, the opportunities that arise or elude you, is not separate from you. It is not some distant, detached environment in which you exist. It is a mirror, reflecting back to you the words you speak, the beliefs you hold, the emotions you carry. Every moment, life is holding up a reflection of your inner dialogue, echoing back the conversations you have with yourself. This is the mirror effect, the sacred principle that your outer world is always a reflection of your inner world. But this mirror does not lie. It does not distort. It simply reflects what is. When your inner words are filled with fear, the mirror shows you reasons to fear. When your inner dialogue sings of love and abundance, the mirror reflects those gifts back to you. The world is not happening to you, it is responding to you. Every thought, every word, every belief is projected outward, and the universe, like a faithful mirror, shows you the picture you have painted within. Yet many look at the reflection and try to change it, as though one could alter the image in the mirror by polishing the glass. They focus on the outer world, trying to fix circumstances, manipulate people, force outcomes. But the reflection can only change when the source changes. Just as a face must smile before the mirror can reflect the smile, so too must your inner speech shift before the world reflects new experiences. Consider the story of Leora, a woman who felt trapped in cycles of rejection. Every job interview ended in a polite decline. Every relationship drifted into silence. And in her mind, the words repeated, "I am not enough. I am always rejected." These inner declarations became her reality, echoed back to her in every corner of her life. She stood before the mirror of her world and saw only what she believed to be true. But Leora came to understand the mirror effect. She realized that changing her circumstances would require changing her inner words. She began to speak differently, not to others, but to herself. She replaced, "I am always rejected" with, "I am accepted. I am worthy of every opportunity." These words, at first, felt like foreign garments, but she wore them daily, speaking them into the chambers of her mind. Slowly, the mirror began to reflect her new story. Opportunities opened. Relationships deepened. The world shifted because she shifted. You too stand before the mirror of life, and the reflection you see is not fixed. It is shaped by the words you speak within. If your inner dialogue says, "I am a failure," life shows you failures. If your inner words say, "I am powerful," life reflects that power. The universe does not judge, it simply responds. But here lies the sacred power. You can change the reflection. You can reshape your world by reshaping your inner speech. The mirror effect is not a sentence, it is an invitation. An invitation to become conscious of the words you speak within and to choose words that align with the reality you wish to create. Let me share another story, the tale of Amir, a man who struggled with scarcity. His finances were always tight, his opportunities limited. And when he listened to his inner voice, he heard the refrain, "Money is hard. I never have enough." These words became his reality, reflected back to him in every paycheck, every bill. But Amir learned to speak differently. Each morning he declared, "I am abundant. Money flows to me easily." These words felt like fantasies at first, but he spoke them with faith. And the mirror, ever faithful, began to reflect abundance. Opportunities arose, resources flowed. His world changed because his words changed. This is the sacred principle of the mirror effect. Change your inner conversation and the reflection must change. But this requires consistency. The mirror responds to your dominant vibration, not to fleeting thoughts. If you speak abundance one moment but return to words of lack the next, the mirror reflects the dominant tone. It shows you what you believe most often, most deeply. So how do you shift the reflection? How do you shape the mirror? You begin by listening. Listen to the words you speak within. Notice the patterns. When life presents a challenge, what is your inner response? When an opportunity arises, what do you say to yourself? Are your words aligned with your desires, or do they echo old fears, old limitations? Once you hear the inner dialogue, you gain the power to change it. When the old words rise, I can't, I'm not enough, this never works. Pause. Speak new words. Replace the old with the new. Speak the reality you wish to see. Speak it until the mirror reflects it back. So now, I invite you into a sacred practice. Stand before a mirror, a real one. Look into your own eyes. Speak the words you wish to see reflected in your world. Say aloud, I am abundant. I am loved. I am powerful. I am aligned with the flow of life. Speak these words daily. Let them become the dominant tone of your inner conversation. And as you walk through your days, become aware of the mirror effect. When life shows you something you do not desire, do not curse the reflection. Return to the source. Speak new words within. Plant new seeds. Trust that the mirror, in time, must reflect the new story. Remember, the world is your mirror. It echoes your words, your beliefs, your emotions. Shape the reflection by shaping the inner conversation. Speak life, speak power, speak love. And the mirror will show you a world that reflects those truths. Chapter 7. Affirmations that command reality. There is a language that the universe responds to without hesitation. A language not of pleading, not of wishing, but of command. This language is spoken not only aloud, but deeply within, and its words are called affirmations. These are not idle phrases, not empty mantras repeated without meaning. True affirmations are sacred decrees, words that vibrate with the energy of certainty, aligning the speaker with the reality they wish to create. When spoken with belief and consistency, affirmations become commands to the universe, shaping life in their image. But what is it that makes an affirmation powerful? It is not the arrangement of words alone, it is the energy behind them, the state of being they evoke. When you say, I am abundant, with the feeling of lack still clinging to your bones, the words ring hollow. But when you speak, I am abundant, and feel that abundance stirring within you, even if only as a spark, those words become a vibration that the universe must obey. You see, the universe is a faithful servant, responding always to the dominant vibration you emit. It is not the repetition of words that moves mountains, but the alignment of thought, feeling, and speech. When you speak affirmations from a place of command, from a place of inner knowing, you speak in the language the universe understands. Consider the story of Clara, a woman who longed to experience peace in her life, yet found herself caught in cycles of anxiety and unrest. Each morning, she would rise and whisper affirmations. I am at peace. I am calm. But beneath her words, a tide of fear still roared, and so the affirmations felt false, disconnected, powerless. But Clara learned that affirmations are not about denying what is felt, they are about shifting the state within. She began to speak her affirmations differently. She breathed into them. She paused after each word, allowing the feeling of peace, however small, to rise within her as she spoke. I am at peace. And as she spoke, she felt her body soften, her breath slow. The words became real, became felt, became aligned. And the universe responded, reflecting back experiences of calm, of balance, of peace. This is the art of affirmation, to speak not just from the lips, but from the heart, from the body, from the soul, to let the words carry the vibration of the reality you wish to experience. You are not begging the universe. You are not hoping. You are declaring. You are assuming the role of the creator, speaking from the end, speaking from the place where your desire is already fulfilled. Let me share the tale of Darius, a man burdened by scarcity. His life was marked by struggle, his finances always strained. But Darius learned the power of affirmations that command reality. Each morning, he stood tall, shoulders back, voice strong, and declared, "I am wealthy. I am a magnet for abundance. Money flows to me freely and effortlessly." At first, the outer world did not change. The bills remained. The bank account stayed low. But Darius spoke from the end, as though his words were already true. He did not wait for evidence to affirm his belief. His belief was the evidence. And as he continued, his vibration shifted. He began to feel abundant. He began to see opportunities where before there were none. And in time, the universe responded. Wealth flowed, not because the words were magic, but because they aligned him with the frequency of abundance. This is the key. Affirmations are not magic spells. They are alignment tools. They tune your inner vibration to the frequency of what you desire. When you speak them with authority, with belief, with feeling, you send a clear signal to the universe. And the universe, always faithful, always responsive, begins to rearrange itself to match your command. But how do you craft affirmations that command reality? They must be present tense, positive, and personal. Speak as though the reality you desire is already yours. Do not say, "I will be abundant," for that places abundance in the future, always out of reach. Say, "I am abundant," anchoring the truth in the now. Do not say, "I am not poor," for the universe does not hear the word not, it hears poor. Say instead, "I am wealthy," speaking only of what you desire. And speak them personally. Use "I am," for these are the two most powerful words in creation. Whatever follows "I am" shapes your identity, your vibration, your reality. Speak them often with conviction until they become the dominant tone of your inner dialogue. Let me offer you a sacred practice. Each day, choose 3 affirmations that align with the life you desire. Stand before a mirror, look into your own eyes, and speak them aloud. Feel the words. Breathe into them. Let them vibrate in your chest. Speak them not as a wish, but as a command. Speak them as though they are the only truth. I am worthy of love. I am powerful beyond measure. I am aligned with infinite abundance. Repeat these words daily. Speak them even when the outer world has not yet reflected them. Trust that the mirror of life is shifting, that the seeds are growing beneath the surface. Remember, affirmations that command reality are not about convincing the universe. They are about aligning yourself. The universe is already ready to respond. It waits only for your clear, consistent command. Speak with power. Speak with belief. Speak with certainty. And reality will obey. Chapter 8. Healing through the spoken word. There is a force woven through the very fabric of existence, a force that heals, restores, and renews. It is not found in distant places or in the hands of others. It flows through you. It rises in the breath you take, in the thoughts you nurture, in the words you speak. This force is the power of the spoken word, and when used with intention and love, it becomes the balm that soothes the soul, the light that mends the heart, the vibration that restores the body. You carry within you the power to heal yourself through the words you choose to speak. The ancients knew this truth. They spoke words over the sick, not as mere comfort, but as instruments of transformation. Their chants, their prayers, their declarations were not idle sounds. They were vibrational medicines, tuning the body, the mind, the spirit back to harmony. And though modern life has forgotten this sacred art, it remains within you, waiting to be remembered. Healing through the spoken word does not mean denying what is felt. It does not mean turning away from pain or pretending that suffering does not exist. It means speaking into the wound with love. It means declaring wholeness even when brokenness seems to reign. It means affirming life in the presence of death, light in the shadow of darkness. It is speaking from the truth of what is possible, not the appearance of what is. Consider the story of Celine, a woman who faced the weight of grief after the loss of someone dear. Her inner voice echoed sorrow. "I will never heal. The pain is too great." These words became the walls of her suffering, the echo chamber of her grief. But one night, beneath the vastness of the stars, she whispered a new phrase. "I am healing. I am whole, even in my sorrow." These words, though soft, carried the seed of renewal. She spoke them again the next day and again the day after. Slowly, the walls began to soften. The grief did not vanish, but it transformed. It became a space where love could live, where memory could be a blessing instead of a burden. Her words did not erase her loss. They healed her relationship with it. This is the sacred power of the spoken word. It does not erase the past. It transforms your experience of it. It does not pretend away pain. It speaks love into it, and through that love, healing begins. Let me share another story. The story of Ravi, a man whose body bore the weight of chronic illness. His diagnosis became a sentence, his inner voice repeating, "I am sick, I am broken." These words shaped his identity, his vibration, his reality. But Ravi learned to speak differently. Each morning, as the sun rose, he placed his hands on his body and spoke healing words. "I am whole. My body knows how to heal. Every cell vibrates with life." At first, the words felt empty, but he continued. He spoke them not to change his body immediately, but to align his energy with healing. Over time, his body responded. His strength returned, his vitality renewed. His words became the medicine his body needed. Your body listens. Your cells hear your words. Your spirit responds. When you speak words of healing, words of love, words of life, you recalibrate your being. You shift your vibration from dis-ease to ease, from imbalance to harmony. You remind your body of its inherent wisdom, its natural state of wholeness. But healing through the spoken word requires consistency and belief. You must speak these words not as a wish, but as a declaration, not as a hope, but as a knowing. You must align your feeling with your speech, trusting that the vibration you emit is tuning your body, your mind, your spirit back to harmony. This is not about ignoring reality. If pain is present, acknowledge it. But do not speak from the pain. Speak into it. Declare healing. Declare life. Declare wholeness. The body, the mind, the spirit will respond. So now, I invite you into a sacred practice. Each morning and each evening, place your hands upon your body, whether on your heart, your head, or any place where healing is needed. Speak these words aloud. I am whole. I am healed. My body knows how to restore itself. Every cell is vibrant with life. I am aligned with the energy of well-being. Feel these words. Let them vibrate through you. Speak them daily, even when the evidence has not yet appeared. Trust that the spoken word is doing its work, tuning your vibration, calling forth healing. And know this, healing is not always physical. It is emotional, mental, spiritual. The words you speak can mend a broken heart, can lift the fog of despair, can restore hope where it has been lost. Speak healing into every part of your being. Remember, your words are not just sounds. They are vibrations. They carry energy. They shape your reality. When you speak healing words, you send out a signal to the universe, to your body, to your soul. I am whole. I am healed. I am aligned with life. And the universe responds. Let your words be your medicine. Let your voice be the instrument of your healing. Speak life, speak love, speak wholeness, and healing will flow. Chapter 9. Speaking from the End, the language of fulfillment. There is a sacred art that lies at the heart of all creation, a language so powerful that when spoken it bends reality to your will. It is not the language of longing or hoping, but the language of fulfillment. It is the speech that rises from the end of your desire, from the place where your wish has already come to pass. To speak from the end is to embody the state of completion, to align your words, your thoughts, and your feelings with the reality that you desire as though it already exists. For in truth, in the higher realms of creation, it already does. The universe does not respond to desire alone. It responds to assumption, to belief, to the vibration of being. When you speak from lack, you affirm lack. When you speak from fulfillment, you command fulfillment. Your words must reflect the reality you seek, not the absence of it. This is the key that unlocks the door to manifestation. Consider the story of Alina, a woman who longed for love. For years, her inner voice echoed longing. I wish for love. I hope love finds me. But her words, though sincere, arose from the place of absence, from the awareness of what was missing. The universe, ever faithful, reflected her state of longing. Love remained distant, always a wish, never a reality. But one day, Alina learned to speak from the end. She began to speak not as someone waiting for love, but as someone already immersed in it. She whispered within, I am loved. I am cherished. Love surrounds me and flows through me. These words, though at first unfamiliar, became her new song. She spoke them often, not as a plea, but as a truth. And the universe responded. Love entered her life, not because she wished for it, but because she became the vibration of love. This is the sacred practice of speaking from the end, to declare, to assume, to embody the state of your fulfilled desire. When you speak as though your desire is already realized, you align with its vibration. The universe, bound by the law of reflection, must mirror that state back to you. But this requires more than words. It requires feeling. It requires you to step into the emotional space of fulfillment, to feel the joy, the gratitude, the satisfaction of your desire as though it were already yours. Words without feeling are hollow, but words infused with the energy of fulfillment become creative commands. Let me share another story, the story of Luca, a man who dreamed of success in his work. For years he spoke from striving. I will succeed one day. I hope to achieve my dreams. These words, though hopeful, place success in the future, always just out of reach. But Luca learned to speak from the end. He began to declare, I am successful. My work is thriving. I am aligned with purpose and prosperity. He spoke these words with feeling, with belief. And though the outer world had not yet caught up, his inner world shifted. He became successful within. And the universe responded, rearranging the outer circumstances to match his inner state. This is the language of fulfillment. It is the speech of the Creator, the voice that shapes worlds. When you speak from the end, you are not lying to yourself. You are aligning with the deeper truth that all realities exist now. In the quantum field, every possibility is already created. Your speech, your vibration, your feeling, choose which reality you experience. So how do you speak from the end? You begin by asking yourself, if my desire were already fulfilled, how would I speak? How would I feel? What would I say within myself each day? And then you speak from that place. You embody that state. You align your inner conversation with the reality you choose. let me offer you a sacred practice. Choose one desire, a dream, a goal, a vision. Close your eyes. Imagine that it has already come to pass. Feel the emotions of fulfillment, the joy, the gratitude, the satisfaction. Let these feelings rise within you. Then, from this state, speak aloud. I am grateful that this is already mine. I live in the reality of my fulfilled desire. I am aligned with abundance, with love, with success. Speak these words daily. Speak them even when the outer world has not yet shifted. Trust that the mirror of life is reflecting back your dominant vibration. And as you remain in the state of fulfillment, as you speak from the end, the reflection must change. But be patient. The universe moves in rhythms, in seasons. Some seeds sprout quickly. Others take time to root and bloom. Your task is not to force the harvest, but to maintain the state. To speak from the end consistently, knowing that the reflection will appear in its perfect time. And know this: the more you practice speaking from the end, the more natural it becomes. The more you live in the vibration of fulfillment, the more the universe aligns to match your inner world. This is not about pretending, it is about creating. It is about choosing the vibration you wish to experience and holding it until the mirror reflects it back. So, speak as though your dreams are already here. Feel as though your desires are already fulfilled. Align your words, your thoughts, your emotions with the end. And trust that the universe, faithful and true, will obey. Remember, you are the creator of your reality. Your words shape worlds. Speak from the end, and the universe will reflect the fulfillment of your desire. Chapter 10. Daily Rituals to Align Inner Speech with Desire. There is a quiet power in ritual, a sacred rhythm that anchors the unseen into the seen, the formless into form. Rituals are not mere routines. They are the bridges between worlds, the deliberate acts that weave the threads of your inner speech into the tapestry of your lived reality. When you create daily rituals to align your inner conversation with your desires, you do more than speak words. You forge the path upon which those desires can walk into manifestation. The universe, though infinite, responds to consistency. It listens not only to your fleeting declarations, but to the dominant vibration you offer day after day. Like a river shapes the stone through steady flow, so too does your daily inner speech shape the contours of your life. One word, one moment of alignment may ripple outward, but it is the daily immersion in the vibration of your desire that sculpts the grand landscape of your reality. Your inner rituals are not a chore. They are sacred offerings, repeated declarations that remind the universe and your own soul of the truth you are choosing to live. Consider the story of Maya, a woman whose dreams of creative success flickered but never fully ignited. She spoke affirmations when she remembered, visualized sporadically, and hoped that her desires would find her. Yet life seemed to offer only glimpses, never the fullness she craved. But Maya learned the power of daily ritual. She began to create space each morning, a sacred pause before the rush of the day. She lit a candle, sat in stillness, and spoke her affirmations. I am a successful creator. My art touches lives. Abundance flows to me through my creative gifts. Each evening, before sleep, she gave gratitude for her desires as though they had already arrived. Slowly, steadily, her outer world shifted. Opportunities arose. Her creativity blossomed. Not through chance, but through ritual alignment. This is the invitation before you now, to create your own daily rituals that anchor your desires into the rhythm of your life. Rituals that remind your inner voice, who you are becoming, what you are choosing, what you are claiming as your truth. But these rituals are not about repetition alone. They are about connection. They are about feeling. The words you speak within these sacred moments are seeds, but the emotion you bring is the water, the sunlight, the life force that makes them grow. Let me offer you the framework for such a ritual, a morning alignment ritual. Begin each day before the world makes its demands. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths, each one drawing you inward, each exhale releasing the noise of the outer world. Place your hand over your heart. Feel its rhythm. From this space, speak aloud 3 affirmations that align with your deepest desires. Speak them slowly. Speak them with conviction. Let them vibrate through your being. For example, I am aligned with abundance and prosperity. I am worthy of love and joy. I am a powerful creator, and my desires manifest with ease. Pause between each phrase. Feel the truth of the words. Imagine the vibration of those words flowing from your heart into the field of the universe. This is not about volume, it is about energy. Speak from the state of fulfillment. Feel it as though it already is. But do not stop there. Create an evening gratitude ritual. Before sleep, as your mind softens, take a moment to reflect on the day. Give thanks, not only for what has appeared, but for what is on its way. Gratitude is the fertile ground in which your desires root and grow. Speak aloud, I am grateful for the abundance flowing into my life. I am thankful for the love that surrounds me. I am blessed by the opportunities that come with ease. Feel gratitude not as an obligation, but as an acknowledgement of the unseen becoming seen. Let your final thoughts before sleep be aligned with the reality you are choosing. For as you sleep, your subconscious mind, the great gatekeeper of manifestation, will carry these vibrations deeper, weaving them into the fabric of your being. Beyond morning and evening, there is also the power of midday recalibration. Life can pull you into distraction, into old patterns, but you can pause, even for a minute, to realign. Step away from the noise. Close your eyes. Breathe. Speak one powerful affirmation. I am in harmony with the flow of my desires. This simple act is like adjusting the sails of your ship, keeping you aligned with your chosen course. And let us not forget the power of writing. Each morning, or as part of your rituals, write your affirmations. Let the pen move with intention. Writing roots your words in the physical world, turning thought into form, vibration into visible script. This practice anchors your inner speech more deeply, affirming not only through voice, but through action. But remember this, rituals are sacred, but they are also personal. Find the rhythms that speak to your soul. If lighting a candle calls you into presence, light it. If placing your hand over your heart centers you, do so. If standing tall, speaking aloud to the morning sun stirs your power, embrace it. The form matters less than the energy. What matters is that you create space for your inner speech to align with your desires daily. For the universe listens not just to occasional bursts of intention, but to the steady drumbeat of your dominant vibration. Your rituals are the music of your becoming. They are the sacred rhythm that tunes your inner world to the frequency of your desires. They are not about forcing the harvest, but about tending the garden with love, with consistency, with faith. So, build your rituals. Anchor your desires in the rhythms of your day. Speak your affirmations not as a task, but as a sacred act of creation. Let your inner speech be the daily song that calls forth the life you are choosing to live. Remember, ritual is alignment, and alignment is the path of the Creator. Speak, align, trust, and the universe will obey. Chapter 11. Silence between words, the space of creation. In the symphony of life, it is not the notes alone that create the music. It is the silence between the notes, the sacred pauses that give the melody its shape, its rhythm, its soul. Without the space between the sounds, there would be only noise, a chaotic rush with no form, no beauty, no meaning. So too it is with your inner speech, with the words you speak within. For beyond the affirmations, beyond the declarations, there lies a silence, a stillness that holds the true power of creation. This silence is not emptiness, it is potential. It is the space where seeds gestate before they sprout, where desires root before they bloom. It is the womb of the universe, where thought becomes form, where the unseen is nurtured into the seen. Yet many fear this space. They fill every moment with words, with thoughts, with noise, believing that the power lies in constant action, in endless speaking. But in truth, the power of your words is amplified by the silence that surrounds them. Consider the story of Elias, a man who spoke affirmations daily, tirelessly, believing that if he spoke enough, if he filled every moment with declarations, his desires would manifest. Yet he felt no shift, no movement, as though his words were falling into a void. But Elias had yet to understand the power of the space between words. He had yet to listen. One evening in exhaustion, he fell into stillness, letting the words go, resting in the quiet. And in that silence, something stirred. A peace, a knowing, a connection to the field of creation. He realized that it was not in the constant speaking that power was found, but in the balance, the words and the silence, the speaking and the listening. This is the dance of creation. Your words are the seeds, but the silence is the soil. Your affirmations are the brushstrokes, but the stillness is the canvas. One without the other is incomplete. The space between gives form to the words, gives life to the vibration you send out into the universe. And it is in this space that the universe speaks back. But this silence is not passive. It is alive. It is the pause after you declare your desires, the moment where you allow the echo to return. It is the gap between the command and the manifestation, the space where faith is born. In this silence, you do not seek or strive, you receive. You align with the vibration of your words, allowing them to settle, to root, to grow. Let me share another story, the tale of Amara, a woman who longed for clarity in her path. She prayed, she spoke, she asked, but the answers eluded her. She filled her days with questions, her nights with affirmations, believing that the more she asked, the sooner clarity would come. But one day, she sat in stillness, not asking, not speaking, just listening. In that sacred space, the answers arose, not from the noise, but from the silence. The guidance she sought had been waiting in the quiet all along. This is the invitation of the silence between words, to create space for the universe to respond, for your inner voice to rise, for your desires to settle into the fertile ground of being. It is in this space that the law of assumption takes root, where your inner speech is absorbed into the field of creation. Without this space, the words become scattered, their power diluted. But with it, they resonate, they vibrate, they align. So how do you cultivate this sacred silence? You begin by creating space in your rituals, in your inner speech. After speaking your affirmations, pause. Rest in the stillness. Feel the vibration of your words echo within you. Do not rush to fill the space. Let it hold you. Trust that in this pause, the universe is moving, aligning, responding. Let me offer you a sacred practice. After your morning affirmations, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Enter the silence. Do not seek to fill it. Simply rest there. Allow the vibration of your words to linger. Feel the space expand around you. Stay for a few moments, allowing yourself to receive the resonance of your declarations. This is not about doing, it is about being. It is about trusting that in the space between the words, the universe is at work. And throughout your day, Seek these moments of stillness. When the mind races, when the inner dialogue becomes noisy, pause. Return to the silence. Let the space hold you. Let it recalibrate your vibration, realign your being. This is the grounding force that keeps your inner speech aligned with your desires. Remember, the power of your words is not just in the speaking, it is in the rhythm between the speaking and the silence. It is the harmony of sound and stillness, of declaration and reception. The silence between words is not emptiness, it is creation. It is the space where the universe takes your words and begins to shape them into form. So, honor the silence. Embrace the stillness. Let it be the fertile ground where your desires take root and grow. Speak your affirmations, then rest in the quiet. Trust that in the space between, miracles are being woven. Remember, creation is a dance. The step of the spoken word, the pause of the silent space, moving together in perfect rhythm. Speak, pause, listen, receive. And watch as your reality aligns with the music of your becoming. Chapter 12. Transforming Doubt with Your Voice. Doubt, the silent shadow that lingers behind desire. It creeps into the spaces between your affirmations, questions the dreams you've spoken, whispers uncertainty into your declarations of certainty. It is the voice that says, "What if this doesn't work? What if I'm fooling myself? What if I'm not enough?" Doubt is not the enemy. It is a teacher, a messenger, revealing where your belief has not yet taken root, where your inner foundation needs strengthening. But doubt left unanswered becomes a weight, pulling your vibration downward, scattering the seeds you've planted with your words. And so, you must meet doubt with your voice, transforming it not with silence, but with deliberate, loving speech. Many fear doubt, pushing it away, pretending it does not exist. They plaster over it with forced positivity, hoping that if they speak enough affirmations, the doubt will disappear. But unspoken doubt festers in the dark. It grows stronger when left unacknowledged. It is only when you face it, when you speak into it, that it loses its grip. The power of your voice can transform doubt into faith, uncertainty into certainty, fear into trust, not by silencing it, but by answering it. Consider the story of Malik, a man who longed for abundance but carried the heavy burden of doubt. His affirmations filled the air. "I am wealthy. Abundance flows to me." But beneath the words, doubt whispered, "But what if it doesn't? What if I'm not worthy?" For a time, Malik tried to ignore these whispers, speaking louder, forcing positivity. But the doubt remained, until one day he listened. He sat with the doubt, heard its voice, and then, with love, he spoke back. "I hear you, doubt. I see you. But I choose to believe. I choose to trust. I am worthy of abundance, and it is on its way." He spoke these words directly into the space where doubt had lived, and slowly, the whispers faded. His voice grew stronger, his belief deepened. The power to transform doubt was not in ignoring it, but in speaking to it with love. You too can transform doubt with your voice, but it begins with awareness. When doubt rises, do not turn away. Do not bury it beneath more words. Pause. Listen. Hear the fear, the uncertainty, the question. Acknowledge it, and then speak. Answer it with deliberate declarations. If doubt says, "What if I'm not enough?" respond with, "I am more than enough. I am worthy. I am complete." If doubt whispers, "What if this doesn't work?" respond with, "All things are working together for my good. The universe supports me." This is not about overpowering doubt. It is about meeting it, embracing it, and transforming it with the vibration of your voice. Your spoken words carry energy, carry belief. They reshape the inner landscape where doubt once lived. Let me offer another story. The tale of Elena, a woman who longed for healing. Each day she spoke affirmations. I am whole. I am strong. But the doubt crept in. But I still feel pain. What if I never heal? She felt the weight of this doubt, feared it would undo her progress. But one evening, she faced it. She spoke directly into the fear. Even in the presence of pain, I am healing. My body knows how to restore itself. I trust the process. These words did not erase the pain, but they transformed her relationship with it. The doubt no longer ruled her, her voice did. And in time, the body followed. This is the sacred power of transforming doubt with your voice. Not to deny the doubt, but to respond to it, to speak a new vibration into the space where uncertainty once lived. It is to become the dominant voice within, the voice of belief, of trust, of certainty. So now, I invite you into a sacred practice. The next time doubt rises, whether in the quiet of your mind or in the face of your desires, pause, listen, hear the words of the doubt. Then, write them down, see them clearly, and beside each doubt, write a response. Speak directly into the doubt with affirmations of truth, of trust, of love. Read these responses aloud. Speak them slowly. Let them carry the vibration of certainty into the space where doubt lived. For example, if your doubt says, I don't know if I can succeed, your response might be, I am capable of success. I have everything I need within me. I succeed with ease. Or if your doubt says, this dream feels too big, your response might be, my dreams are worthy. The universe supports my desires. All things are possible for me. Speak these responses daily. Let them become the dominant conversation within. The doubt may return, but each time it does, meet it with your voice. Speak back. Speak love. Speak truth. And over time, the doubt will fade. The voice of belief will grow stronger. Remember, doubt is not your enemy. It is a messenger, revealing where more love, more belief, more trust is needed. Your voice is the instrument that transforms it. Speak with power. Speak with love. Speak with certainty. And watch as doubt gives way to faith. The universe responds to your dominant vibration. Let your voice be the guiding force that keeps you aligned, that transforms the shadows into light. Meet doubt not with silence, but with sacred speech. Transform it. And in doing so, transform your life. Chapter 13. The emotional tone behind your words. There is a hidden force that rides beneath every word you speak. It is not the sound nor the shape of the words themselves. It is the emotional tone, the energy you infuse into the breath that carries those words into the world. You can speak of abundance, but if your tone trembles with fear, the universe hears the fear. You can declare love, but if your heart clenches with doubt, the vibration that echoes is not love but uncertainty. The emotional tone behind your words is what the universe listens to. It is the true language of creation. Words alone are symbols. They hold potential, but emotion is the power that animates them, the current that electrifies their meaning. When you speak, the universe does not respond only to the surface of your words. It responds to the vibration beneath them, the feeling state that accompanies them. And so, to manifest with your voice, to command reality, you must align not only your words but your emotional tone. Consider the story of Jonah, a man who longed for success. He spoke affirmations daily. I am successful. Prosperity flows to me. Yet beneath his words, the tone quivered with anxiety, with disbelief. His voice said one thing, but his emotional energy said another. And so the universe responded not to the words, but to the vibration behind them. Success remained distant, as though blocked by the invisible wall of his emotional dissonance. But Jonah learned to align his tone. He began to speak more slowly, breathing into each word. He connected to the feeling of success, the ease, the confidence, the joy. And then he spoke, not from the mind alone, but from the heart. His words softened, deepened, resonated with truth. And the universe, as always, responded, not to the surface, but to the tone beneath. This is the art of emotional alignment. Your words are the vessel, but your emotions are the wind that carries them. To speak from the state of your fulfilled desire means to let your words rise from the feeling of fulfillment itself. It is not enough to say, "I am abundant." You must feel abundance in your chest, in your breath, in the space between your ribs. You must let your emotional tone match the vibration of the reality you are calling forth. Let me share another story. The tale of Sophia, a woman yearning for healing. She spoke the words, "I am whole. My body is vibrant with life." But her tone trembled with fear, with resistance. The words felt hollow, disconnected from her emotional state, until one day she paused before speaking. She breathed into the fear, acknowledged the tension in her chest, and gently invited peace into her body. She felt the warmth of life, the possibility of healing. And from this space, she spoke again, "I am whole. My body is vibrant with life." This time, the words vibrated differently. They carried conviction, love, trust. The emotional tone had shifted, and with it, the power of her words deepened. This is the sacred lesson. The emotional tone of your words is the key to their power. You cannot deceive the universe with hollow phrases. You must embody the state. You must let your words arise from the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When you align your emotional tone with your spoken affirmations, you send out a clear, consistent vibration that the universe reflects back to you. So how do you align your emotional tone? You begin by slowing down. Before speaking, pause. Breathe deeply. Feel into the state you wish to embody. If you are speaking abundance, connect with the feeling of abundance, the ease, the freedom, the gratitude. Let that feeling swell within you. Then, from this emotional space, speak your words. Speak slowly, with presence, with connection. Let the emotion color the sound. Let me offer you a sacred practice. Each morning, before speaking your affirmations, sit quietly. Place one hand on your heart, one on your belly. Breathe deeply, slowly. Ask yourself, what is the feeling state of my desire fulfilled? Is it joy, freedom, peace? Allow that emotion to rise, even if only faintly. Invite it in, let it expand. Then, from this space, speak your affirmations. Feel the words resonate in your body, carried by the tone of your emotion. For example, I am abundant. Feel the ease, the freedom. I am loved. Feel the warmth, the connection. I am healthy and whole. Feel the vitality, the peace. Do not rush. Let the emotion guide the rhythm of your speech. If the tone wavers, pause. Return to the feeling. Align again. This is not about perfection. It is about presence. And throughout your day, become aware of the tone behind your casual words. When you speak about your life, your work, your relationships, notice the emotional undercurrent. Are you speaking from frustration, from fear, from doubt? Or are you speaking from love, from confidence, from trust? Your emotional tone is always broadcasting, even when your words seem neutral. The universe listens to that broadcast. So choose your tone as carefully as your words. Let them be aligned, harmonious, true. Speak not only from the mind, but from the feeling state of your desired reality. Remember, words are energy, but emotion is the amplifier. Together, they create the vibration that shapes your world. When your words and your emotional tone are aligned, you speak in the language of creation, the language the universe obeys. Speak slowly. Speak with feeling. Let your tone carry the power of your desires fulfilled, and the universe will echo back the reality that matches your vibration. Chapter 14. Reinforcing Self-Concept Through Repetition. In the temple of your mind, there are grooves carved deep, pathways of belief, trails worn by the repetition of thoughts spoken over and over again. These grooves form the bedrock of your self-concept, the foundation upon which your reality rests. Like water shaping the stone through persistent flow, your repeated inner speech etches the shape of your identity. And it is this identity, this self-concept, that determines what you allow, what you attract, and what you experience in life. To shift your world, you must shift the self-concept that holds it in place. And to shift the self-concept, you must engage in the sacred art of repetition. The human mind learns through repetition. It absorbs, integrates, and accepts what it hears again and again. Every belief you hold about yourself, whether empowering or limiting, was planted and grown through repetition. The child who hears, "You're not good enough," begins to speak it inwardly again and again until it becomes the fabric of their identity. The adult who repeats, "I always struggle," weaves that phrase into their self-concept, and life responds accordingly. But this process works in both directions. The same repetition that engraves limitation can be used to carve empowerment, to ingrain abundance, love, success, wholeness. Consider the story of Marcus, a man who grew up hearing that he was clumsy, incapable, always falling short. These words, repeated by others and echoed within, shaped his self-concept. He stumbled through life, doubting his abilities, expecting failure. But Marcus came to understand the power of repetition. He began to speak new words, words that felt foreign at first. "I am capable. I move with confidence. I am steady and strong." Each morning he repeated these affirmations, not as mere words, but as vibrational seeds planted into his identity. Over time, these new grooves formed in his mind, reshaping his self-concept. His posture shifted, his actions changed, life responded. This is the sacred work of reinforcing self-concept through repetition. It is not about forcing change in the outer world. It is about reprogramming the inner world, speaking into the subconscious until it accepts a new truth, a new identity. The outer world, as always, reflects the inner vibration. But repetition is not about monotony, it is about consistency with presence. To repeat an affirmation mindlessly is to scatter seeds on rocky soil. But to repeat with feeling, with belief, with emotional tone, this is to plant seeds deep into fertile ground. And like any garden, the harvest comes to those who tend it daily. Let me share another story. The tale of Althea, a woman who carried the belief that she was unworthy of love. This belief, though painful, was familiar. It shaped her relationships, her choices, her experiences. But Althea learned the power of deliberate repetition. She chose a new affirmation: "I am worthy of love. I am deserving of deep connection." At first, the words felt hollow, resisted by the old grooves carved in her mind, but she spoke them daily, morning, noon, and night. She wrote them, whispered them, carried them like sacred beads through her day. Over weeks and months, her self-concept shifted. She became the vibration of love. Her relationships deepened. The mirror of life reflected her new identity. This is your invitation. To reinforce your self-concept through repetition, choose the words that align with the identity you are becoming. Speak them often. Write them daily. Let them become the dominant tone of your inner dialogue. But let me offer you a sacred practice, a cycle of repetition ritual. Each morning upon waking, before the mind fills with the noise of the day, speak your affirmations aloud. Choose 3 statements that align with your desired self-concept. For example, I am powerful and capable. I am aligned with abundance. I am worthy of love and respect. Speak them slowly, with emotion. Feel the truth of the words vibrating within you. Repeat each statement 3 times, allowing the tone to deepen with each repetition. Let the words carve new grooves, new pathways in your mind. Throughout your day, whenever a limiting thought rises, interrupt it with your affirmation. If the old self-concept whispers, I can't, respond with, I am capable. If doubt arises, meet it with, I am worthy. Each repetition reinforces the new groove, making it stronger, more dominant. And before sleep, as the mind softens and the subconscious opens, repeat your affirmations again. Speak them gently, as lullabies for your soul. This is when the words take deepest root, planting themselves into the fertile soil of the subconscious. Remember, the power of repetition lies in the consistency. Just as the river carves the canyon not through force, but through persistent flow, so too do your repeated affirmations reshape your self-concept. Do not expect instant change. Trust the process. Trust the practice. The harvest comes to those who tend their garden daily. And know this, the words you repeat become the identity you wear. They shape your posture, your actions, your expectations. The universe responds not to fleeting thoughts, but to the dominant vibration of your self-concept. Make that vibration strong, consistent, aligned. So, speak, repeat, reinforce. Let your affirmations become the steady drumbeat of your becoming. Carve new grooves, shape a new self, and watch as your world rises to meet the identity you have claimed. Chapter 15. The universe is always listening, trusting the echo of your words. In the unseen spaces of existence, a sacred law remains ever constant. The universe is always listening. It hears every whisper of your heart, every word you speak within, every declaration you make, whether aloud or in the quiet chambers of your mind. Nothing is unheard, nothing goes unnoticed. Your words, your emotions, your inner dialogue, all are seeds cast into the infinite field of creation, and every seed has its season. But the human mind, conditioned by time, often grows impatient. It speaks once, twice, and when the mirror of life does not instantly reflect the desire, it assumes the universe did not hear. Yet the universe always hears. The echo of your words is moving, reverberating through the unseen realms, preparing the reflection. Trusting this echo is the final act of faith. Your voice is a vibration, and vibration ripples outward. Like a stone cast into a still pond, your spoken words create waves that touch distant shores unseen to the eye. Some ripples reach the shore quickly. Others take time, carried by currents you cannot perceive. But they always arrive. Your task is not to control the timing, not to force the harvest, but to trust the process, to speak, to align, to believe, and then to rest in the certainty that the universe is working on your behalf. Consider the story of Samuel, a man who longed for freedom from a life of struggle. He spoke his desires daily. I am free. I am abundant. I live with ease. But the days passed, and the outer world seemed unchanged. Doubt crept in. Was the universe even listening? But Samuel remembered the sacred law, that the universe always listens. He continued to speak, continued to align his emotional tone, even when evidence lagged behind. Weeks later, unexpected opportunities arose. A door opened where before there had been none. Freedom, once a distant hope, became his reality. Not because he forced it, but because he trusted the echo of his words. This is the final teaching: to trust the delayed reflection, to know that what you speak is heard, that the universe is rearranging itself even when your eyes have yet to see the proof. The timing of manifestation belongs to the rhythm of the universe, not the clock of man. Your role is to hold steady, to maintain the vibration, to trust that what you have spoken is already set in motion. Let me share another story. The tale of Layla, a woman who yearned for healing. She spoke daily, "I am whole, I am well, my body vibrates with health." Yet months passed, and the pain lingered. But Layla chose to believe in the unseen ripples, in the quiet work of the universe. She trusted that her words were moving, shifting the landscape beneath the surface. And one day, like the first green shoot rising from winter soil, healing blossomed. The echo of her words returned, as it always does, in perfect time. This is the loop of speech and response. You speak, the universe listens, the echo moves through the unseen, and the reflection appears in its season. But many break the loop too soon. They speak, then watch the mirror anxiously. When nothing changes, they speak words of doubt. Maybe it won't work. Maybe I'm not meant for this. And those words become new seeds, scattering confusion into the field. But those who hold steady, who continue to speak as the person they wish to become, who maintain the vibration without demanding instant proof, they complete the loop. They allow the universe to respond fully. This is why patience is an act of trust. It is not passive waiting, it is active alignment. It is the quiet confidence that the echo of your words is moving toward you, shaping the world unseen until it becomes the world seen. So how do you hold this trust? You release attachment to timing. You speak your desires, you align your emotional tone, and then you rest in the certainty that it is done. You do not watch the clock or dig up the seeds to check their growth. You tend to your vibration, knowing that the harvest comes in its own perfect season. Let me offer you a final sacred practice. After speaking your affirmations each day, take a moment to close your eyes. Visualize your words as ripples moving outward, touching every corner of the universe. Imagine them reaching the people, the places, the opportunities that will align to manifest your desire. See the reflection forming in the mirror of life, even if your eyes have yet to behold it. Whisper to yourself, "It is done. The universe has heard. My desire is on its way." Feel the relief of trust, the ease of surrender. Let go of the need to control the how or the when. Trust that your voice has set the wheels of creation into motion, and that the echo will return. Remember, the universe is always listening. Every word, every feeling, every vibration is received. Your only task is to keep speaking, keep believing, keep aligning, and trust the process. Speak, trust, receive. This is the final rhythm of creation. Conclusion. You are the voice that commands the universe. You have walked a sacred path through these chapters, a journey into the power of your own voice, the creative force that shapes the universe. What once seemed distant, a mystical truth reserved for sages and mystics, now stands before you as your own birthright. The words you speak, the tone you carry, the assumptions you hold within, these are the instruments of creation. They are not mere sounds. They are not idle thoughts. They are vibrations, currents of energy that move unseen, weaving the tapestry of your reality. As you stand here, at the close of this book but the beginning of your mastery, know this: You are the voice that commands the universe. You are the architect of your experience, the sculptor of your reality, the one who speaks and shapes the mirror of life. No longer must you wait for life to bring you what you desire. No longer must you plead or hope from a place of lack. You now know that you are the creator. Your voice, aligned with belief, charged with emotion, infused with the feeling of fulfillment, commands the universe itself, and the universe, faithful, unwavering, obeys. But this is not a one-time act. It is a daily dance, a sacred practice. You are always speaking within. You are always declaring, affirming, assuming something about yourself, about life. And the universe, ever listening, reflects back not the words alone, but the vibration behind them. So choose your inner speech wisely. Let it rise from the identity of the person you are becoming. Let it carry the tone of the life you are choosing. You have learned that affirmations are commands, not hopes. That your emotional tone carries the power of your words. That repetition carves the grooves of your self-concept. That speaking from the end aligns you with the vibration of fulfillment. You have learned to trust the silence between the words, to give space for the universe to respond, to trust the echo of your declarations. And now, as you move forward, know that you carry the tools of creation within you. You need no permission. You need no proof. You are already worthy, already powerful, already aligned with the creative force of the universe. Your voice is enough, your assumption is the seed, and your words are the waters that nourish it. Speak as the one who has already received. Speak with the authority of the Creator. Speak with love, speak with power, speak with trust. And when doubt arises, as it may, remember that doubt is but a shadow, a call for more light. Meet it with your voice. Speak into it, transform it, love it back into alignment. The universe is always listening, always responding, always reflecting. It is done the moment you declare it so. The mirror may take time to reflect back the image you hold, but the reflection is already forming in the unseen. So walk forward now, not as the seeker, but as the master of your voice, the commander of your universe. Speak to yourself in the way that aligns with your highest good. Speak in the way that calls forth your desires as done. For you are not just a player in this cosmic dance. You are the conductor of its symphony. The rhythm follows your lead. The universe moves to the vibration of your words. Speak, believe, feel, trust, and know the universe will obey. If this book spoke to your soul, share it with someone who needs to remember the power of their voice. Speak your desires, align with your truth, and watch the universe respond. For more sacred teachings like this, follow and stay connected. Your journey of creation has only just begun.